There is Simon Gilbert then on the right-hand side, the orange and black outfit. Ben and Tom Birchall just stretching themselves up. Look, limbering up in the background there as Tommy Philp is last to pull into position. He'll be exciting as well to see coming through from row 5. He's 9th on the grid, 2nd in yesterday's race 1. Keep an eye on Scott Laurie as well. He's getting into position now with Shelley Smithies for company. They've been quick this season, but out of the race with problems yesterday, right at the back. Here we go then, reverse grid for the second and final race of the weekend, and away we go. And it looks as though the best start is actually Andy Peach and Ken Edwards on the number 4 as they slot into 3rd position around Allard Corner with some very dark clouds overhead here at Thruxton, but away cleanly. It's Simon Robinson and Mick Fairhurst right up there at the forefront.
Yeah, and what a great start for Simon Robinson. You know, new to this, but Simon Gilbert throwing his ADL through on the inside. Corner speed, Simon Robinson not up to it yet, but look at Tommy Philp. Tommy Philp, the number 52, in 2nd place. They were on the podium yesterday, and they know full well the Birchalls coming from row 5 will be carving their way through the traffic. So Philp already has got his nose in front. Can he do enough? But it's 10 laps, Greg. A long, long way for the Birchalls to come through.
That is a truly remarkable start, though, for Tommy Philp from 9th on the grid, the son of legendary sidecar racer Bill Philp, who once took James Whittam around as a passenger at Imola many a year ago. But what a start for Tommy Philp into the lead, and he will know, of course, with rain in the vicinity and the possibility of a red flag, there's every chance of trying to beat the Birchalls in this one. Where are Ben and Tom Birchall? They're back in the pack at the moment. They were 10th through the latest split point.
Well, there they are, right at the back of this bunch. They're looking right and left. Here they are, the red helmets coming through alongside Lewis Blackstock, 95. They're following Blackstock through on number 70, Rupert Archer, the Hannafin Adolf RS. Ben and Tom Birchall, number 16, in the interview yesterday, said how fit you have to be, how much training the passenger does, and you can see precisely why. John Holden, number 2, and Jason Pitt moving through now, but Philp and Tom Bryant are away with it at the moment.
They certainly are. 1.8 seconds ahead at the start of the second lap. That's an incredible first lap for them. Up the inside go the Birchalls. Did they get through cleanly as they got down into the complex? Just about. Somebody running very, very wide indeed and getting it all back together. It's all action early doors then in race 2. Birchalls up the inside. Oh, there's a big squeeze there. Blackstock on the outside, Peach in the middle, and the Birchalls get through.
Well, it's only a matter of time before they pick off Simon Robinson with the greatest respect, but his Yamaha is quick. Remember, this is the first season for him on a long outfit, so his learning curve is immensely steep. Ben and Tom Birchall past Simon Robinson and Mick Fairhurst. They're on their way now on the back of Simon Gilbert on the Adolf RS, and the drag up the hill, the combined weight of the Birchalls far, far less than Simon Gilbert and Paul Thomas.
Through they go at Church. They're doing 140 miles an hour with the passenger hanging on the outside with the 2 or 3 handholds I have. Look how the passenger, in this case Tom Birchall, gets down nice and low as they come up Woodham Hill now to the club chicane. More side by side in the background that look like Biggs there fighting away as he cuts his way through, and Peach and Bell were side by side as well. Look at this before.
Brilliant action, isn't it? Ben and Tom Birchall sweeping wide, look. You see they're coming around the outside of Simon Robinson, and they're going to try and get in front of him, but they don't. They clip Peachy, they get through on Peachy and Lewis Blackstock, but Simon Robinson stayed in front.
Just the sort of move you'd expect from 10-time Isle of Man TT winners and 3-time world champions, the Birchall brothers. There's those clouds we talked about before at the front. Then you've still got Tommy Philp leading. Holland and Christie are in 2nd place at the moment. Here comes the leader then, that's Tommy Philp. What a start. He was already in the lead coming out of the complex from 9th on the grid on the first lap. Birchall's then now 4th. Next target, the experienced old head John Holden.
We're coming up to complete lap 3, but Ben Holland on the green Kawasaki in front of this pair loves Thruxton. He comes from Portsmouth, he likes the track. They've been very, very successful around here over the years. John Holden then having to be very wily here, but of course Ben and Tom Birchall with their Honda now out dragging the Yamaha and going through on the inside up to 3rd place. John Holden, so much experience, himself a former TT winner, so they're best of buddies when they get on the Isle of Man, but they're not best buddies here at Thruxton.
It is good to see a Honda going well in the British Championship though, isn't it? On the overall entry this weekend, just 2 Hondas, 2 Suzukis, 1 Kawasaki, as you said before, Barry, Ben Holland and Christie, the third of the Christies on that one. But Most of them Yamahas, of course. 12 Yamahas on the entry this weekend as they come out of the club chicane. We're not even at half race distance yet, and the fittest of the passengers, and of course Tom Birchall, certainly one of those, will really come into their own as we move into the second half of this race. There you go, 1:20.1, fastest lap of the race so far. The gap to Holland and Christie ahead of them is 1.9 seconds.
And that is the older Kawasaki engine Ben Holland's on. It is the true 600, 636 not eligible in the sidecars. That's why so many of the teams went to the Yamaha power, because the R6 Yamaha seems to be the engine to have, but Ben Holland has stayed faithful to the Kawasaki. This Honda, though, it's very low. It's got a wet sump on it, which means it can sit even lower. They've inclined it so that the crankshaft is at the lowest point of the centre of gravity of the engine. The whole machine is designed to corner quickly, and boy does it.
And it's aircraft aluminium, is it not, that they use for these outfits?
Indeed, monocoque aluminium aircraft and carbon fibre floor. So high tech. You want to see one of these things with their skins off. They are amazingly high tech, a real work of art.
Incidentally, as Barry said earlier in the season at Alton Park, if you actually look underneath the outfits, you can actually see the driver's feet on some of the shots as we look at the leaders. But now, this is the fight we anticipated, and we're going to get a pass coming up any second now as the 60 of Ben Holland and Tom Christie, the Team JH Racing bike, is about to be overhauled by the Hayth Honda of the Birchalls into Allard on lap 5. That's very, very tight. I thought they were going to make contact there, and they've actually had to think better of it.
Oh, Ben Holland, wily. He's been around a long time. He closed the door. He doesn't care who's behind. He's not phased at all. And all the time the clock is ticking, and the gap at the front, almost 3 seconds that Tommy Philp has. And look at the wheel in the air there. This is where top Ben Birchall is good. And pushes, just a bit of a nudge there, but very, very good. A good, clean passing move. Up to second place, Ben and Tom.
Yeah, that was very, very generous of Ben Holland, I have to say, giving them room there. Otherwise, there would have been a collision. But like you say, very hard, but very fair from Ben and Tom Birchall. We'll be at half race distance then. At the end of this lap, the gap, as you can see, top left of the screen, is 3.6 seconds. So the best part of 4 seconds then between Philp and Birchall. There is the gap. You saw them just disappearing. There they are. Tommy Philp. Brilliant start, of course. That was the key to the race for him so far. From 9th on the grid, he was already in the lead coming out of the complex on the first lap, but they'll get the pit board this time around, and they will have the dreaded words Birchall.
Well, this is doing Ben Holland's championship chances the world of good. He's on 43 points level with Rupert Archer. He is several places ahead of Rupert Archer, and he's well ahead of John Holden. Here's the passing move. Just have a look at this.
Oh, look at the sidecar wheel up in the air. And at this point, Birchall's decided I'm going up the inside, whether you like it or not. Holland sees it, reads it, lets them through. There was almost a touch, but that was just brilliant sidecar racing at Thruxton, wasn't it?
Well, he read that situation very, very well, and he's a fair rider, Ben Holland. Look at Tommy Philp sliding the back end across now. He knows he's got, if he had wing mirrors on that, he'd have Ben and Tom Birchall large in his wing mirrors, but they don't have wing mirrors. He might hear that Yamaha when it comes up behind him. But Tommy Philp then, now delivering his true potential. We knew the former solo rider, 600 stock rider, had great speed and great sidecar craft, which he's inherited, obviously. All the talk over the breakfast table when he was a little boy would have been about his dad and Grand Prix sidecar racing.
Further back in the pack, there's a good fight going on as well for 6th position. Bell and Connell have just moved up into 6th place. Falling back then now is the pole sitter for this one, Gilbert and Roberts, number 51. Just lost a couple of positions, but there's a great scrap going on there as well. A 4-outfit scrap, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th further back in the pack. We'll see it in a moment, but in the meantime, they've caught them then. That gap was almost 4 seconds not so long ago, and the Birchalls right up with Tommy Philp now.
Right. If they don't get them through here, they're going to repeat that passing move at the left-hander. If you ask me, they will know that's where they're strong. Now, Tommy Philp is doing a great... That's Andy Peach and Ken Edwards out of the running, so that's a shame for the veterans. Oldest combined age in the race, these two. So that Andy Peach out of it, that is very, very sad.
And that looked as though it had been a spin. They've gone backwards almost into the barriers. I think that's in this part of the track, the complex, so there may well be yellow flags out here, which might be why. Yes, there it is, left-hand side. Yellow flags would have been out. That's why we didn't see a move at the front. And has there been contact? There most certainly has. Oh, goodness me.
Oh, ow, ow.
Ken Edwards thrown clear of the outfit. Andy Peach, over they go as the Birchalls on lap 7 of 10 take the lead from Tommy Philp.
It was a good, clean move. They were just seeing the replay when they went through, but Andy Peach and Ken Edwards both on their feet. just when I said they were the oldest combined crew, they threw themselves down the tarmac. You do not need to be doing that at your time of life, boys.
No, we shouldn't be laughing, of course, but we know they're okay, luckily. But that could have been much worse with people right behind them when they went over there. Well, goodness me, it can happen, of course, when you have contact and it lifts that sidecar wheel off the ground. You saw the effect. I thought it was a spin, but indeed they got airborne as the Birchalls then now move into lap 8 of 10. And what a lap that's been, having dispatched of Philp and Bryant. Another fastest lap right on cue, a 19.1 to extend the lead to 1.1 seconds. And with just 3 laps to go, they are very, very close now to their 6th win of the season. But look at this, more fighting going on.
Yeah, that's Blackstock and Rosny on the red number 95 outfit behind John Holden and Jason Pitt, who are sitting in 4th place in the championship now on the road, and it's going to do Ben Holland's championship chances the absolute world of good because he's on target for a podium. But John Holden and Jason Pitt, and through goes Louis Blackstock. That was a lovely, lovely move, and he made it stick. Blackstock and Rosny then now up to 4th place.
Well, they really
fantastic.
are deserving, aren't they, Barry, of some tremendous results. That is fantastic. What a move, though. They set that up fantastically well through the complex.
Well, they've had 2 or 3 years in former years in World Championship competition. This is a truly world-class crew. Make no mistake about it. And the reason the Birchalls, I won't say the reason, the Birchalls are brilliantly talented. Let me take nothing away from the way they ride. But they've entered this championship in 2021 at a time when 3 of the fastest we have are off doing World Championship duty. So if there's never ever going to be a time to play at home, this is it.
And John Holden's decided he may have come through, but I will return the favour. That's wonderful stuff from the veteran John Holden. Lewis Blackstock on the right, John Holden on the left. He's not quite far alongside him there, but this may well indeed and will go on to the penultimate and final lap. So straight over the curbs goes Lewis Blackstock, coming out of the last chicane. He's lost momentum there, and there's the result. In fact, is there damage to the right-hand side of Lewis Blackstock's outfit? It looks to me as though the passenger, Paddy Rosny, was holding it. No, he seems to be okay. I just wondered whether they'd whacked the curb and damaged the bike then.
There's very limited suspension travel. It threw Paddy up in the air for sure. There's 3rd, there goes 4th place now. Holden has normal business resumed for him. And this battle, quite to the contrary, you would expect it to slow them down. If anything, they're winding Ben Holland in, although that might have been camera angle. But now Holden is away. That you might be right, Greg. They might have suffered something with that outfit as a result of that clout.
It did look to me as though the passenger was trying to put something back into place, and I know they hold on that side, but it looked as though there was a bit of damage. And you're right, Barry, they are closing in on Holland and Christie. They were, despite that battling, a good 3 or 4 tenths of a lap quicker last time round. The problem is the gap is 3.5 seconds, so let's see what happens. We have seen lap times dramatically increase on final laps before, particularly here at Thruxton, which is so physical for the passengers. Birchalls through the shot. That was Tommy Philp, 4-second lead. There's the sole Kawasaki in the race then, and this is going to be a very, very hard-earned podium once again if they can stay where they are through the chicane.
It is, but if John Holden can catch them, it'll be a first podium for him. He has not been on the podium at all, and in fact neither has Ben Holland, so there's everything to play for between these two. But John Holden, number 2, and Jason Pitt on their Adolf RS Yamaha are definitely closing in on Ben Holland and Tom Christie. Is it going to happen on the last lap? We've got just under 2 miles to go.
It could happen because there's only 1.4 seconds between them, and the difference in lap times was over 2 seconds last time round. They will catch them on this lap, but as we've said before, catching is one thing, passing is quite another. So who will grab their first podium of 2021? Will it be Ben Holland, who currently holds 3rd place, or will it be the veteran John Holden, who's going to be right up with them in a matter of seconds?
Remarkable. This is victory number 6 for Ben and Tom Birchall if they bring this home, and you would not bet against it. They are cruising home now with a 5-second advantage, and up to the chicane they go, the club chicane, flicking it right, flicking it left. The passenger's still working, the back slides out. I'll let you take them over the line, Greg.
From 10th over the grid, the Birchalls do it again. 6 out of 6. Tommy Philp led for much of the race and is second from 9th on the grid. But who's going to get that 3rd place? Will it be Ben Holland or will it be John Holden? They are right with them at the chicane. On the final lap, Barry, right, left, right. Can they get them on the track to the line?
It's going to be Holland. It's going to be Holland on the podium. Look at that. What a brilliant, brilliant Holland confirmed from John Holden in 4th place. That was a fact. And here comes Scott Lorry and Shelley Smithers, number 72, having wiggled their way past Blackstock and Rosny. So fantastic. And there you can see Rob Biggs, number 5. Rob Biggs and Jerome Schmidt. So terrific action all the way down the field.
And look at the damage to the wheel arch on Rob Biggs' bike. It was that bike that made the contact with Andy Peach earlier in the race. So that's the second time in 4 years Rob Biggs has been involved in a nasty looking incident at the complex. It was going into the complex 4 years ago, coming out of the complex this year. By the way, the gap between Holland and Holden for 3rd was 45 thousandths of a second. But the Birchalls, Barry, you have to say, they really are in another league at the moment. 6 wins from 6.
Class act. They can go to the sweet shop and raid it every weekend, it seems.
They can. That's what you would do, isn't it? As Barry Nutley, I'm sure, will laugh his way out of the commentary box on that one. Fastest lap, there you are as well, that 1:19.1. Well, that really was a dominant performance again, but they really put on a show for us, didn't they? The way they came through, it was a bit of a struggle early doors. They were just carefully picking them off one by one, but they were aggressive when they needed to be. Their move on Lewis Blackstock in particular between the Cobb and Seagrave corners, so well thought out, but they cut through. They were decisive, weren't they?
And the rear end of that bike sliding beautifully, controlled slide, all to do with the centre of gravity. Biggsy and Peachy, best of pals. There you go. There was contact, there was a clout, and he stopped to see if the boys are okay. That's great stuff.
That's really nice to see, isn't it? On the exit of the complex, that bike on the left-hand side, if you're just joining us, has been over on its roof. But it's lovely to see the smiles. We've had some very nasty accidents in recent times in motorsport. This is that incident earlier in the race. Rob Biggs on the left, Andy Peach on the right. Round she goes, and then the pendulum effect takes over, and there is the result. And that was a very, very fortunate Simon Gilbert and Paul Thomas to avoid getting caught up in that one as well. Lucky escape, Barry, lucky escape.
Certainly was, and Andy stayed in. You know, there's little they can do because once they're in there on their knees, they're locked in. Over to you.
There you are then, 6 wins out of 6 from Ben and Tom Birchall with their Hayth Honda fighting up from 10th on the grid. And what a start, certainly start of the season so far for the Roberts Constructions Philp Bryant pairing to lead and pull away as they did from 9th. Holland and Christie, first podium of the season, denying Holden and Pitt by 45 thousandths of a second. Scott Lorry and Shelley Smithies, that shouldn't go amiss either, from the very back of the grid up into the top 5. Blackstock and Rosny perhaps with some damage. Rob Biggs definitely with some damage. And Kevin Cable with Watson for company completing the top 10. It was survival of the fittest, wasn't it, there in many ways. Andy Peach and Ken Edwards classified 5 laps down, so they might actually pick up a championship point there. We await official confirmation, but at least they are okay after that nasty and frightening looking incident coming out of the complex. The dark clouds are still here, but the rain did stay away. Up to 150 then go the Birchalls. The Christies, well, best wishes to Adam Christie after their incident here on Saturday when he came off the bike coming out of church at 140 miles an hour. Did go to hospital last night, broken left wrist and, broken left ankle and right wrist. But they're still second in the championship at the moment. Blackstock and Rosny, consistency keeps them 2 points ahead of Scott Lorry and Shelley Smithies, with experienced John Holden inside the championship top 5. Just